Welcome to this crochet cow tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet this four-legged cow plushie. Let's get straight into it. So the materials that you will need are a 5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, scissors, 12mm safety eyes. Then you will need white chunky yarn. I'm using Premier Parfait chunky yarn. As well as your secondary colour, I'm using pink as I will be making the strawberry cow, but if you are making a mushroom or cookie cow then feel free to use red or brown. And you will also need toffee coloured yarn for the horns. So to start off, you're going to grab your pink yarn or your secondary colour, and we're going to begin by making our legs. So we're going to start off with a magic ring, and I use the 2-chain method to do a magic ring. So that involves doing a slip knot, and then chaining 2, and then you'll do your single crochets for the first round into the first chain, which will be our magic ring. So for the first round, we'll just do 5 single crochets into that magic ring. Then for round number 2, we're going to do 5 increases, which will take us up to 10 stitches. An increase is doing 2 single crochets into each stitch. Now for round 3, we're going to single crochet all the way around. So we'll just single crochet for 10 stitches. And at the end of this round, we will change to white. So at the very end of the last stitch, you should color change to white. So now we are halfway through the last stitch. We'll grab our white yarn and finish off that single crochet using the white yarn. And then we'll tie the pink and white yarn together. And then we should cut the pink yarn off. Now we're going to continue round with white yarn, and we're going to single crochet for 2 rounds. Once you have done that, we are going to leave a small tail, and we are going to pull through with our hook to finish off. So now you're going to make 3 more of these legs so that you have 4 legs in total. And then once you have done that, we will continue on to the body. So once you have created your 4 legs, we're going to pop those aside so that we can move on to the body. So for the body, you're going to grab your white yarn, and for the first round of the body, we're going to do 8 single crochets into the magic ring. Then for round 2, we're going to do 8 increases, which will take us up to 16 stitches in total. Now we're going to pop our stitch marker in. I use scrap yarn as my stitch marker. And for the next round, we're going to grab our legs as we're going to be single crocheting the legs onto the body. So we'll start with this first leg, and I'm going to work round this round with you. So to start off, we're going to do 2 single crochets with the leg. So to do that, you're going to go into the leg from the inside, and we're going to go into the stitch that is the first stitch of the last round on the leg. So you can see the last stitch of the last round is the one that is up here, and the one that is lower is the first stitch of the last round. And we're going to go into that stitch from the inside. And then we are going to find the next stitch on the body, the circle that we have here, and we're also going to go into that stitch. So you're currently in a stitch from the leg and the next stitch in the body. And we're going to single crochet through both of those stitches. And then we're going to go into the last stitch of the last round of the leg, so the one that's higher up and has the tail coming off it, and we're going to go into that stitch from the inside, and we're going to go into the next stitch of the body. And then we're going to single crochet through both of those stitches. Now we are just going to do 3 single crochets straight into the body. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to grab the next leg. So we're going to do the same process as before. We're going to go into that first stitch of the last round from the inside, so the stitch that is lower down. And then we're going to go into the next stitch of the body and single crochet through both of these stitches. Then we're going to go into the last stitch of that last round of the leg and the next stitch of the body and single crochet. Now we're just going to do 1 single crochet just into the body. So the next stitch of the body we'll just single crochet into. Then we'll grab our next leg. Once again, we'll go into the first stitch of the last round from the inside, and then into the next stitch of the body, and we'll single crochet through both of those. And then into the last stitch of the last round of the leg, and the next stitch of the body, single crochet through both of those. And then we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. And we're going to grab the final leg, and we're going to go into the first stitch of the last round once again, and then go into the next stitch of the body and single crochet those 2 together. Go into the last stitch of the last round of the leg and the next stitch of the body, single crochet those together. And finally, we'll just do 1 single crochet into the final stitch of the body. Now we have completed that round, we're going to move the stitch marker up. So now for the next round of the body, I'm going to work along with you because we're going to single crochet around the outside of the legs and the body. So if we lay the legs out like this, we are just going to be going only around the outside. So we're not going to go into these stitches of the body or these stitches of the leg, just all the way around the outside. And I'm going to work around with you. So to start off, we're going to do 8 single crochets. So as you can see, this stitch of the body is connected to this stitch of the leg. And since these 2 are connected, we aren't going to go into them. Any stitches that are connected to each other, we will ignore, and we will not be single crocheting into them. These 8 single crochets should only be into this first leg. So you can see this stitch is the first one that isn't connected. So that's our first single crochet. And then we'll do 7 more. Now we're going to do 3 increases. These 3 increases will be into these 3 stitches on the body. So once again, you can see this stitch of the leg is connected to this stitch of the body. So we won't be single crocheting into those. So we'll be doing these 3 increases into these 3 stitches on the body. Now we'll be doing 8 single crochets around this leg. So find the first stitch that isn't connected and go into that. And then 1 single crochet into the body in the stitch that isn't connected to anything. And then 8 single crochets round the next leg. And then we'll be doing another 3 increases into these 3 stitches on the body that aren't connected to anything. And then to finish off, we have 9 single crochets. So 8 single crochets into this leg. And then 1 single crochet into where the stitch marker is. And then we'll move the stitch marker up. So now it should be relatively easy to just go round for the next round. The next round will involve several color changes, so you're going to need to get your secondary color ready. So for the next few rounds, I would like to note that what is written at the top of the screen is A is in white and B means in pink. So we're going to do a single crochet in white and then immediately change to pink. So to finish off that single crochet, we'll grab our pink yarn and we'll tie it to the white yarn. And then we're going to do 3 single crochets in the secondary color and we'll change back to white after the 3rd stitch. And then we'll do 6 single crochets in white. And then change to our secondary color. And then we'll do 3 single crochets before we change back to white. And then we'll do 11 single crochets in white. We'll change back to pink. Then we'll do 3 single crochets in pink before we change back to white. And we'll do 7 single crochets in white. We'll do 3 single crochets in pink. And finish off with 9 single crochets in white. For round 6, I will not be working around with you, just follow what is written at the top of the screen. This next round is once again a little complicated, just follow what the top of the screen says. It will involve doing 2 decreases, but they will both be in white, and that'll take us down to 44 stitches. Now from now on for the body, we're just going to continue round in white. So you can cut off your pink and tie it to another strand of pink yarn. For round 8, we are going to do 10 single crochets, 2 decreases, 8 single crochets, a decrease, 8 single crochets, 2 decreases, and 6 single crochets and a decrease. And that'll take us down to 38 stitches in total. Round 9's a little complicated, so you're just going to follow what's written at the top of the screen. It'll take us down to 30 stitches, and then we can move on to stuffing. So at this point we're just going to stuff the legs a little bit. So you can just add a little bit of stuffing to each of the legs, and that'll make it easier to properly stuff it later on. So for the remaining rounds, when we decrease, we're going to do invisible decreases, and an invisible decrease is just decreasing but into the front loops only. So for the next round, we are going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 24 stitches. And the decreases in those rounds will be worked into the front loops only. By doing invisible decreases, we are helping preventing gaps from opening up from decreasing so quickly. For the following round, we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease times by 6, which will take us down to 18 stitches. So now we're just going to finish properly stuffing the cow's body. Make sure to get a lot of stuffing into the legs. For the next round, we're going to do single crochet decrease times by 6. Then for the final round, we are just going to decrease 6 times. Now we are going to leave a bit of a tail because we're also going to need to sew up some of the holes down the bottom. So we're going to leave quite a bit of a tail. And then we're going to pull through the yarn to finish off. And we're going to grab our yarn needle and we're going to close up the top by sewing around into the front loops only. So into the first stitch. And then out of the second stitch, into the next stitch, and then out of the following stitch, and then into the next stitch and out of the next stitch. And you pull that tight, and that should be all sewed up at the top. Now we're going to bring the yarn down to the bottom, and we're going to bring it to where the little holes that you will have from crocheting the leg to the body, like this hole. And we're going to sew all of those holes up. Just go across it twice. So any sort of holes that you have between your legs, now is a time to sew it up. And then once you've done that and you're satisfied, you can just bring the yarn to a random point in the body and we can just cut it off. And that is the body complete. Now part 1 of this tutorial has been completed. Part 2 and 3 will be linked in the description below. So make sure to go check those out so you can finish your cow.